Ymedia Group, the fastest growing media group in North America.
Welcome to Ymedia Newsroom. Our breaking story is the Ontario Liberal leadership race may be entering a completely new phase as former federal cabinet minister Navdeep Bains officially enters the leadership race. Just as Nate Erskine-Smith suffers a major political setback after losing his appeal over the controversial Scarborough Southwest nomination battle, you have Navdeep Bains, who has entered this race, reshaping the race, bringing deep federal liberal connections with him, major business credibility, and a strong GTA political network into the party that is still trying to rebuild after years of one major defeat after another. This is Ymedia bringing this breaking story for former federal innovation minister Navdeep Bains, who has officially entered the Ontario leadership race. Navdeep Bains becomes one of the highest profile entrants in this race to replace Bonnie Crombie, who resigned earlier this year following the 2025 provincial election loss. His entry dramatically changes the dynamics of the leadership election because Navdeep Bains brings in deep liberal establishment support, strong GTA fundraising networks, and federal cabinet experience with corporate sector credibility. This timing is critical because you have Erskine-Smith's leadership hopes collapsing even further. He was deemed one of the strongest potential leadership contenders, but after losing his nomination by just 19 votes and failing to overturn the results, his path towards leadership has now become significantly weakened. Meanwhile, Navdeep Bains' entry may fill the vacuum created by Erskine-Smith's political setback. Navdeep Bains is widely viewed as a centrist, establishment-friendly liberal with strong ties to Bay Street, business leaders, telecom executives, as he served as Canada's Minister of Innovation, Science and Industry from 2015 to 2021 under then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Since following politics, Navdeep Bains held executive roles at CIBC and later in Rogers Telecommunications. Now, supporters argue that he brings this credibility when it comes to the economy and executive experience at a time when affordability and economic management dominate Ontario politics. The leadership race is increasingly becoming a battle over what kind of Liberal Party Ontario wants. This is something that has faced this party in these last few elections. When it comes to the Greater Toronto Area, well, that is the core battleground because for the Ontario Liberals, Navdeep Bains' political base has been in Mississauga, Brampton, and Peel region as a whole, as he previously represented the ridings of Mississauga, Brampton South, and Mississauga Malton as a federal Liberal MP and cabinet minister. His deep South Asian political networks, as well as his fundraising capabilities, could make him immediately competitive. The race is gaining momentum because many Liberals are increasingly believing that Premier Doug Ford is beatable. That's showing in recent polls where the Ontario PCs and Liberals are essentially tied provincially. The latest numbers were they're both at 37%, and the Ontario Liberals don't even have a leader. So affordability is becoming one of the dominant political issues, and it has intensified significantly when it comes to donor interests, organizational activity, and when it comes to this leadership speculation inside the Ontario Liberal Party that it may potentially form government in the next election. So how did we get here? Okay, so on January 14th, you had Bonnie Crombie officially resign as the Liberal leader. On January 19th, John Fraser, he stepped in as the interim leader. And then on February 7th, you had the Ontario Liberal Party announce the details of a leadership vote, including voting dates, entrance fees, and timelines. Since then, you had two other contenders step in and announce their candidacy, which was on April 21st. Dylan Mercado announced his candidacy on May 8th. You had Lee Fairclough, an MPP, declaring her candidacy, and May 25th, Navdeep Bains announced his candidacy. This candidate registration deadline is until July 31st. September 7th is a deadline to join the Ontario Liberal Party and be eligible to vote in the leadership election as a party member. And on November 9th, the voting period begins. November 20th, the voting period ends. And on November 21st of this year, the results of voting will take place and a new leader will be announced. Now, Navdeep Bains' entry immediately raises the stature of this leadership race because he's one of the few candidates with a province-wide name recognition, with major fundraising potential, and a cabinet level governing experience. Now, parties across Canada are increasingly looking for leadership that has leaders that can combine with what's happening right now for economic credibility when it comes to competency and a moderate positioning during this inflationary times, during AI disruptions, geopolitical instability, and what is affordability anxiety. So, after three different leaders and three election losses, going from a governing party of 15 years to no party status in 2018 and officially regaining party status just last year, the bigger question is, what kind of a Liberal Party does the Ontario government, does Ontarians want moving forward? We're going to continue to follow this leadership battle closely. I'm Ramona Singh. This is the Ymedia Newsroom, and thanks for watching.